Senator and governor of Nebraska. He is currently the co-chairman of the nonpartisan Concord Coalition. Governor, appreciate you being here tonight. If people are wondering what's Concord Coalition, we wanted to have you here for a very specific reason. You look at, quote, balanced federal budgets and generationally responsible fiscal policy. Is anyone on the stage tonight, Governor, serious about that?
No. No, I mean, Donald Trump accumulated $4 trillion in debt when he was president of the United States. There's no indication that either of them are going to do anything about the biggest program, which is Social Security. There's 535 members of Congress, including the president and the vice president, including Donald Trump, who support the do-nothing plan. And the problem is they don't get asked, what are you going to say to a 60-year-old under current law, under your do-nothing plan, when they're eligible for Social Security, they got a 17% cut in benefits, or their kids are going to get a 25 to 30% increase in taxes? What do you say to those people? And they're avoiding it. They're hoping that they don't get asked the question. They're hoping they're able to, talk about the things that, in many ways, don't have much of an impact at all. So Donald Trump is promising to make the government more conservative, but not smaller. He's not promising to do anything about the cost of Medicare or Medicaid or the entitlement programs at all. And neither is Biden. So my hope is somebody on that has an opportunity to ask these guys, ask them, what do you say to a 60-year-old? You're proposing a 17% cut in Social Security under your do-nothing plan. What do you say to them?
Well, tell us what that means, because a lot of people are probably hearing you right now, Governor, and saying, excuse me, they both have said hands off Medicare, hands off Social Security, you will not touch it. Even when, some people in the Republican Party were saying that we need entitlement reform. You're saying that's a real possibility?
No, it's not a real possibility. Neither of them are going to do it. Both of them are misleading the American people on this issue. We're not going to touch it. What does that mean? You're supporting a plan, and I'll label it. It's a do-nothing plan. So unless you start to ask them, why are you proposing a 17% cut in Social Security benefits for people that are 60 years of age and under? And then they get away with it. We're not going to touch it. Well, you need to touch it. You need to touch it in order to be able to make certain that every single American who's eligible for Social Security gets the benefits that they've been promised. Well, that's not current. Under current law, under the do-nothing plan, they got a big cut in their benefits.
So a few of the problems here probably is Trump and Biden, they're both around 80 years old. Old people pay attention to politics. Old people vote. They are on these entitlement programs, and of course they do not want them touched. But at the same time, it's just the topic, maybe, Governor, that when you bring up fiscal responsibility, deficit, debt, that's when people get up and go to the bathroom and they come back and think, I hope they moved on to another topic. How do you make it to where people care about this?
Well, and then there's no possibility of our country getting stronger if we don't address it. There's absolutely none. The Chinese have $1 trillion worth of debt. There's another $7 trillion out there, other foreign nationals. We're talking around this, and it's a huge issue. We spend more on the interest today than we do on Medicare. We spend more on interest than we do on national defense. So unless you force these guys to answer the question, your plan, your do-nothing plan has real consequences. They don't have to defend it. And once you get to be 80, I'm 80 myself. Life looks pretty good to me because I got a pretty good chance the do-nothing plan is going to survive at least until I'm dead. And it's just wrong. I don't know if you followed any of the 80th anniversary of D-Day. Yeah, we celebrated that.
Yes.
Why? Because when those men landed on the shores of Omaha Beach, Utah Beach, and so forth in France, they weren't promised anything. They gave their all to make certain that not just the United States, but democracy survived across the world. And we got to ask for that kind of sacrifice. If we expect to get to heaven without having to do anything at all, that's too much. We won't be a strong country. We're going to get weaker and weaker and weaker as a consequence of borrowing more money and postponing the obligation that we've got on the table and allowing politicians to get away with supporting the do-nothing plan without having to answer the question, what are the consequences for people that are going to depend on that program?
Well, you've laid it out, Governor, better than I could, that these two programs eat up No, you're good. Hey, passion is good. And these programs eat up about half of our...
You're from Missouri. You've got to understand
our
this.
budget every year. Show me the budget. And the budget is busted right now. So, okay, we know that. We know that these are the leaders we have. And we know that fiscal issues, people say they're concerned about it. So give me something very specific policy-wise that they could do to fix this.
Well, it's simple. But take Social Security as an example. There's only two things you can do. You either increase the revenue coming in, or you decrease the future benefits. And very often what happens in the press is, oh my God, Kerry's proposing that the retirement age goes up. That's BS. That's not what this is about. It's just the acquisition of the normal benefits. And again, I'll say right now, unless they get held accountable for proposing, and they are, they're proposing a 17% cut in benefits. And they hope that the moderators of the debate don't ask them that. They hope they can get away, as they've been able to get away, without having to ask the question, what are the consequences of doing nothing, of not touching programs that are wonderful, enormously important in the lives of Americans, but they're running out of money. They're going to be fined for these two guys on the stage because they're old enough. It's not a big deal for them. But anybody under the age of 60, they should look at this thing, and they should get, as Jack Danforth, your former Missouri senator, mad as hell. You know, go watch the movie Network that came out in 1976. We should be mad as hell about this, and young people in particular, because they're going to get the shaft in a big way. They're going to have to pay these bills, and they're going to watch the country get weaker and weaker and weaker because we simply don't have the capacity to do anything other than transfer money.
You talked about getting to heaven. You maybe have some converts after that. Former Governor Bob Kerrey, thank you so much. Appreciate it, sir. We'll be right back.
Love your twin.
Thank you.